NLP Practitioner Presupposition number 2. It is easy to assume that when a client has a problem, the solution is just to change their behaviour. However, this can be problematic because sometimes it doesn't make sense to change their behaviour in the first place. In order to evaluate whether or not it is appropriate for someone to change their behaviour or not, we need to look at context and ecology. To evaluate something that happens in the context of an ecology, you must look at it from all angles. What other factors could be impacting the phenomenon? How might you change your approach if you were to repeat the same experiment again? What are the consequences of your conclusion or argument? As a coach, you may have wondered why change is so difficult for some clients. They might be trying to cope with a chronic condition, or they might be anxious and depressed. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they are really improving. One reason it can be difficult is that we often try to change clients without considering what else is going on around them. I believe that behaviour should be evaluated in terms of context and ecology, meaning the context or setting where the client lives their life and how this affects him or her as his or her relationships with others who live there with him or her. It is important to evaluate what you're asking your client to do in the context of ecology. Are we asking him or her to change behaviour? If so, how will that affect other parts of the environment? Will it help them meet their goals and keep them healthy? If not, then perhaps it's time for a different approach. There are times when change is not appropriate. If you have a headache, it would be unwise to go running or start playing basketball. If you are an introvert, then you should probably not start working as a stand-up comedian. When evaluating whether or not behaviour change is appropriate, consider your health, safety, and well-being. You also need to consider whether the change aligns with your values and goals in life. There are times when change is not appropriate. For instance, you may have a trainee who is really struggling with sales. It would be inappropriate to change her role so that she no longer receives sales leads. Instead, it would be better to focus on improving her current knowledge, skills, or attitude, and providing more coaching in the areas where she needs it most. In this case, then, change becomes an option only when it is paired with other interventions designed to address the root causes, rather than simply shifting roles around. It is a good practice to evaluate the context and ecology before changing the behaviours. Evaluating context. What are the factors that affect a person's behaviours? What are their beliefs, values, norms, and expectations? A lot of work we do as NLP practitioners is to help people understand how their behaviours affect others and the environment. It's important that we start this process by helping them understand why some behaviours may be more effective than others in a given context.